I think when you talk about the elephant in the room, and this might be uncomfortable, but I gotta say it. Oftentimes, we have a lot of voters that vote against their own interests for various reasons. Maybe they're not. Maybe the elected officials are not being transparent. Maybe we're being told lies. Maybe we're being deceived. Maybe people are being dishonest. We have to talk about that and it's uncomfortable, because this is what people are doing for various reasons. And so, as an organization, or if you have a nonprofit or a advocacy group, how do we address that so that people can get the right information? Because I hear all the time, we need to organize, right? But how are we going to organize if people do not have the right information and they're not seeing transparency and accountability?
That is a honker of a question. And I appreciate you bringing it in a very neutral way, in the sense of we all need to be talking about this, right? I think in terms of if we're trying to organize and engage people, and I'm saying this as a woke folk fellow, one of the things that I've seen effective is making sure people have access to the resources that they need to organize, realistically. I wouldn't have been able to do that fellowship unless I received a stipend. That's just how it is. People need the opportunity, and so when we're thinking in terms of as nonprofits, we have to think about what opportunities people, like the people we're trying to engage, may not have to even engage in the capacity that we might want them to. Now, Rise tries, we do our best and put our communications through vigilant processes to make sure people have the right information in a nonpartisan way. But realistically, that doesn't happen without the people. So I would encourage y'all to definitely go to that table in the back of the room. If you're not a member of Rise already, we do legislative updates during the legislative session. We have a maternal health toolkit, and we work on a variety of issues. But the most important part is the issues that we work on were voted on by our membership. So we are making sure that we are centering the people in the policies that we're advocating for.
If I may respond to?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Since 2012, to address your question, put it this way. I mentioned the public transportation story earlier. One of the things a woman wanted to know about public transportation was who makes the decisions. She didn't know with the city council, the state legislature. She didn't even know that was the board of directors of the Birmingham Jefferson Transit Authority. So part of things is our responsibility to is give people a roadmap to civility, civil engagement, not necessarily civility, but civic engagement, because of the fact that it's opaque. It's opaque, and it's purposely opaque. Who made decisions about, take Birmingham, Alabama in 2017, passed a legal minimum wage ordinance increase from $7.15 to $10.10 an hour. It was legal because they did their legal research. Within weeks, the legislature convened and retroactively nullified it and prevented anybody else from doing it going into the future. A funder once asked me, what's your biggest challenge working in Birmingham? Well, the biggest challenge is being in Alabama. Particularly the Alabama legislature, John Norfolk knows well, and the Constitution of 1901, which gives the legislature infinite power over everything. And that Constitution was created because blacks, poor whites and poor blacks, came together even after the betrayal of Reconstruction in 1877, in 1880s, 1890s, and fought for one thing in common, and that was free public education. to be paid for by taxing the IT giant of the time, the railroad. That led to a tax on black and white unity that has lasted for a very, very long time, and it created a Jim Crow Constitution. I haven't looked at all that, but the thing is that we produce now, GBM, the election guides for most cycles since 2012, and we come out with one for municipal elections this year that not just gives like the voting sheets, vote for these people, but what's the job description and what's the experience, so you can measure up the experience with the job descriptions, as well as also giving them access to how to vote absentee, how to vote in person, under current law, so being impacted and stuff. So, and it'll be available both in print and online.